Love is the highest vibration.
Guess what? Guess what? Welcome back to another episode of Dreyas Closet. And today I have a very special guest with me. I have more Glamazon, but in the daytime it's Morgan. How you
Yes, honey,
doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. I'm trying to stay cool and calm and collective. And because it's so humid out here. How
It's
you been?
humid. That full moon had everyone just shaking last week. It's been a wild time, but no, I'm doing the same, trying to stay centered, just like
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
just the words. Now I have no words to say.
No, it's okay. But thank you for coming on to the show. Guys, this episode is very much going to be a very fun, free flowing episode because we are very good friends. And
She
I
said,
feel
it's
like.
fake. No, I'm joking. She said, that's part of the script. We got a teleprompter right here,
You
y'all.
see, this is how the show is going to be, guys. We're going to have a lot of laughs. We're going to talk about a lot of different topics, free flow. So, where are you at today, Morgan?
Where am I? In life,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm chilling. I think I'm definitely adjusting to a bunch of change.
Yeah.
Change in job. Not change a relationship, but relationship like issues, quote unquote.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
all these different things all at once, trying to like figure out like navigating what 2024 is trying to bring me because it's almost over. So we're trying to
Yeah.
like
Isn't
see
that
that
crazy?
answer, right?
Isn't that crazy? We're already in July, at the end of July, going into August. That's absolutely wild. So, being that we're halfway into the year, how do you feel about like how your year is going?
This has been probably one of the most challenging years.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like, as you know, like our store closed,
Yeah.
so like
We're 21.
we're 21.
Yeah.
RIP, but they're coming back apparently.
Kicked us out for nothing.
Literally,
But actually, sorry to cut you off.
Mhm.
Actually, it was a blessing in disguise for me. But
same. No, same. Like I definitely, I now just like I was like take it back, and I like kind of went back to basics after that, where I was said, what did you do like when I first moved out? I was just serving tables, hustling,
the
putting
food
myself through
industry.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I was like, listen, like we can go back to serving tables and hustling. And low key, I work like 24 hours a week and make
Yeah.
the same money I was doing working 40 hours a week.
That's crazy. See, stuff like that is so tempting to like want to be a part of. Like just like want to work in the food industry. But I swore, and I actually am certified with my ServSafe and my it's been years. There
Like
was two things: the
like the food
ServSafe,
safe and
yes, and like the
the
food safety
something
sanitation
about that,
stuff.
yeah.
I got mine in Indianapolis. I was kind of forced to get it, but I got it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And but through that process, I just knew that I would never, ever, 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 because it's so. For me, it was just like you're dealing with people's food,
Yeah.
so it's just like it's just so stressful to me.
Honestly, I was the same forever. So like when when like everyone's getting their first jobs and you
Yeah.
get that most people I feel like they get their first job at like McDonald's, Burger King, fast food of some sort for the most
Mhm.
part. I was hell bent on that was not going to be me. So
Right.
I was I was a nanny. I worked in retail. Like I was one of the gifted girlies that got to work in retail when they were a kid.
Right.
In my town, it was unheard of. So I was like, I'm never gonna do it. And then like I went to college. And my friend was like, I wanted a part-time job,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, come work with me at Texas Roadhouse." I was like, "Girl, why?" I was
Right.
like, "Girl, what?"
Okay.
But she talked me into it, and honestly, it was the best. I learned so much, and what I learned is like, I learned everything from like you're dealing with people at the worst times because when you're hangry. And you
Oh
tell
my
someone
God!
that
Yes.
it's
Yes.
a 30-minute wait. Oh, it's over for them.
Yeah.
But then it also was like something that you can go to any city and do.
Mhm.
And every server is making great money, regardless where you live for the most part. If you're an okay server, you're making great money. And I took all those skills and I learned that like a lot of servers, because I was like my biggest fear was being looked down on. Because I feel like as a person of color,
Oh yeah, being in a servant position.
and you just never want to be in some place where people automatically assume you're uneducated, you're this, you're that, you're that. I was working with everyone, almost everyone at my roadhouse had at least their bachelor's degree, if not a master's. And they were like, I make more money doing this, and this is why I'm still here. And I was like, oh, and it
Really?
flipped the script for me immediately. I was like,
I'm seeing that a lot of people who have went the college route,
Mhm.
the traditional route. You go to high school, you graduate, you go and get, I'm finding that people are kind of regretting spending their time and money on going to college as
Mhm.
opposed to something like a trade or like something that
I
you're
think
talking about.
I think like college is hopefully not going to be phased out. I think if everyone could afford or has the time to at least get like a 2-year degree, I think it's worth it
Yeah.
because it taught me critical thinking on a different level
Okay.
that I didn't have before.
Okay.
But I mean, I'd be okay without it. I would have made my way. But it definitely, there was something about it that I started understanding things differently once I like finished at least my associates. And that's just 2 extra years. And like, I had fun. I made new friends. It taught me how to deal with different people, all these different things. But I don't think you don't need to go out here, get your bachelor's, your master's to be something. And I think both of us
Yeah.
can attest to like, we're
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That is very true. And the crazy part about it is I look forward to seeing the shift from people, the tradition being that you have to go this route in order to be successful, as opposed to just figuring it out and what works for you and putting your all into it. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and giving your resources to that. And that's really dope that people that you were able to see that through other people in the food business, because not many people realize that.
Yeah.
Like you don't necessarily have to go in debt just to live life.
Exactly.
And pay your bills.
And to have a good life, you don't have to go to school to make sure that
Yeah.
you have a good life. You have nice things. You can have nice things and have a good job, but not necessarily go to school. If you want to go to
Right.
school, go to school. Definitely get that education. I feel like I paid for learning Black history, and that's why I tell people all the time when I was doing everything in the movement on like an everyday basis, I had to pay to learn my history.
Right.
So if there's something that you want to learn, go to school because
And do it. Yeah.
it's going to be a great time. I learned so much about Black history. I learned that the root of music, which we all know is Black, but the amount of Blackness that is in music was unprecedented to me until I was learning all of my history. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And for those of you who don't know, very big activist right here. No, for real. Like
Thank
you have been known to protest. You have been known to deliver messages with strong meaning, whether it be in drag performances or just like you in the streets, protesting.
Thank you.
With that being said, because we all have seen the catastrophe unfold in this past week with Donald Trump almost being assassinated. What are your thoughts on everything politically? Well, just that for right now. Like what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like I'm gonna sound like all those other people. Like, was it real?
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, because I mean, how did everyone see this person with a rifle, but the Secret Service was like, "Oh no,"
and they were fumbling. When I say no, I watched a video of the woman.
Yes,
she was falling and stumbling, and she could not get a grip on her holster. And I'm like, this is the Secret Service. The people. But yeah,
exactly. And right now,
it just seemed kind of crazy.
Literally, and then they're going through this case now to see who's going to get in trouble. And I've been keeping tabs on it, and it's so interesting because essentially the court is like, so who are we holding accountable? And like they're not responding. So the people that were supposed to be protecting Trump, they're just not answering these questions, and so that also adds to the layer of like, all right, so no one's lost their job, no one's gotten corrective action, no one's done any of these things, and Trump was fearing for his life. So it like adds that layer of like, how were you like? I was like, and you're not mad that you got shot, that you don't want someone to have to get corrective action. Yeah. So like it adds that layer of like, because I know if it was me, maybe we failed. Who's got to go? Because someone's clearly all y'all got to go. We're gonna start over.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked when I seen that the shooter was a Republican, and that there's more that's unfolding, that there were more conspirators involved, and obviously, but as far as like this catapulting him in the polls now, and people like praising him like their savior is absolutely wild for me. Absolutely wild.
But he's been so many people's savior this whole time.
This is wild. Did you see all the people with the
ear patches? With the ear patch, I was like, oh my god, they don't want him to feel they don't want him to feel different.
I'm like,
The thing,
What?
but I feel like that goes along with like what Make America Great Again stands for. Is like if you're different or you stand out or you have something that you want to fight for or believe in, you don't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just goes with that same grain of like, oh my God, our Lord and Savior, because at this point that's what they treat him like. He is built in this image, so now I need to be built in that image too.
That photo op that he got at the end.
Girl,
Yo.
the meet and greet was real. The meet and greet was real. I was like, oh my goodness.
He said, wait.
And I'm like, and
I said, I know that's real.
To me, it just gave white supremacy.
So, well, of course.
All day, every day.
But let's flip it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kamala is the next runner-up. She has been fully endorsed. She raised $81 million in 24 hours. How do you feel about her being in Biden's place?
I feel amazing about her being in Biden's place. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would prefer a different candidate. And
Than
it's
her?
Yes, and it's not because she's a Black woman. Because that's the first thing people are like, you're not supporting, it's the misogyny. And I'm like, no, it's because she has a checkered past with the Black community. And so I think we're going to lose.
But doesn't Biden?
Not as checkered, I feel like, as hers. She's done like in her reign of her political history, because back when I was really, really, really big in the movement, it was one of those things where we're like, why her?
Yeah.
I'll never forget, because we were all sitting here, we're like, why her? She's done such detrimental things to Black men in the prison systems,
right,
and things like that. So I think my worry is that people aren't going to necessarily let that go, which like I understand people's anger, but right now we're still doing the worst of two evils. So it's either we want no rights or we want to see if this woman has done the homework to build the change within herself.
I'm praying for that. I'm praying
every
because
day.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think about this stuff like all the time because I am a visibly trans woman in society, and I'm blessed to have a job who respects the hell out of that. But I do know that in the event that, let's say, Trump got elected and some of the things that we're fearing unfolds, that's a scary situation for living, for my loved ones, for people around me, for me, my life, how I move forward, the freedom of expression and the freedom to just move around. And then it's just, it's so much. And it's so very much scary, because I don't ever regret becoming trans. I truly believe that was a part of my purpose, is becoming trans and realizing that part of myself and then flourishing and giving back to the world. But I'll be damned if I have to live in fear and in secrecy because of people hunting me, because it's okay now. It's legally okay. Where is like your stance with like knowing about Project 25?
I think that
excuse me, Project 2025. I keep saying it. I don't know why.
Just because at this point it's one of a million projects that they're trying to have to take us down at this point.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of people that don't understand that not how much knowledge really is power.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to continue to try to rename this to get it passed and say that there are all these good things within the bill. But it's so interesting that all of these white people vote with what they think is their interest in mind. But last time I checked, when have one of these billionaires that are voting Republican come and helped you? When has any of, you're still broke? Because if you thought voting Republican in any of these elections have helped you, I want to see the receipts of where. Because there's no proof of it. And I think that goes with lack of homework. And I think we need to go forward and make sure that trying to break down Project 2025 to the most layman terms so that everyone can understand it.
Yeah.
And understand what they're voting for, because voting for Donald Trump is voting for that, is voting to eliminate rights for so many people.
And it's scary. Like I said, not even just the fact that it could come true, but the fact that Project 2025 is not unheard of.
Exactly.
It has made its rounds on social media. It's something that we're on every day. Whether you're old or young, you have heard about it. And to know about it and know that Trump
endorses it.
And oh my God, you took it right out of my head. Endorses it and still vote in that direction is absolutely wild. And I see people on my timeline. And of course, politics, you can have your own political views and still be friends.
That's a hot take that I can't get behind.
That's a hot take. It is a hot take. It is a hot take depending on the people that you're dealing with.
I think
because I'll never okay. For me, it's like you can have your opinions, you can have your beliefs. You're entitled to that. Just like I'm entitled to mine and my beliefs and my opinions. I feel strongly about them. And I'm not looking to have them swayed unless there's facts to prove otherwise. But for those, individuals, I feel the same way. But then when it comes to like when you view me as a friend, do you really are you voting? Are you voting in the belief of getting more money, or are you, because that's the thing about voting for Trump right now, is people have this belief of financial relief or financial whatever. But in the sacrifice of having, so are you going to sacrifice your peers, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews that are gay, trans, whatever, Black? A lot of people receive Social Security.
Gone.
My mom,
Medicaid, Medicare, gone.
And I said my mom because I know, because she received disability. So it's like, and I'm naming somebody that's close to me. And I know for a fact that there are people that are close to these individuals that receive, not even just about LGBTQ rights, but there's factors about this man being in office that takes away things from people that are around you.
Exactly.
So my question, and like, it's like a huge question mark. And I'm like, are you guys okay? Are you guys reading what I'm reading?
But for me, it's like, this is okay. So I'm gonna just roll it back to like a story that like works for me.
Please do.
So like, I'll let you know when I was a little toxic. So back when I was a little baby drag queen, years ago at this point, I think I didn't have an issue. I understood when people were like, when there was like no trans representation on Drag Race.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's not their competition. I don't understand. True. And I was like, but that came from a very ignorant place of me thinking that because someone transitioned, they had a quote unquote advantage at Drag Race.
Okay.
And that was how I was feeling about drag in total and things like that. But it's because I don't think I had almost no trans people in my life at that moment.
Right.
And so when you turn around and you try to tell someone that they're your friend or you love them, if you're not doing the homework on what they face and what they're up against, then you don't really love someone.
Right.
And so for me, that goes into this election, because now, like, if anyone asks me about trans representation in drag, and I'm like, we need all the representation in drag. We need drag kings. We need this. And I appreciate
T.S. Madison being there.
Exactly.
Because she's one of my biggest inspirations, like, for real. And so I love that because I didn't like that either. I remember, who is it? One of the first trans girls on drag. She was so pretty. What's her name? One of the first ones. She literally transitioned on the show. I can't think.
Monica Beverly Hills. She was one of the first. She was like.
She was Spanish.
Monica Beverly Hills. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not a soul can clack.
So, but around that time, they gave trans girls a hard time on drag and Drag Race, and I just get so offended because I'm like, what the fuck? Because
back then RuPaul used to think, and as what we're being told is that it wasn't for them, but then the thing is, the people that are in trans women's lives that are stellar drag entertainers, you're like, what do you mean it's not for them? What are you talking about? We don't understand what you're subscribing
to. Just because they have titties?
Exactly. Like, let's
not do that. Just because they have a real breastplate, literally, they can't compete. That's crazy.
And so exactly. And so it's like, takes that personal growth to call yourself out and be like, yo, you have some different ideals that like clearly don't align with who you are as a person. but you need to figure this out because the people that you love would be hurt by those ideals. So like you need to like do that. And that's a self journey for everyone. And so that's what people have to do when they're taking this election into account. Is like, if I'm voting against people that I'm telling them I love, like I don't love them. Because if you're voting against the ideals or for ideals that could harm people that you care about, you don't genuinely care about them. And that's why when people are like, oh, it's just like, don't unfriend people, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to unfriend you because I want to see the coons in my roster. But that's what I said.
Okay. Right?
She won't put an attitude, boop.
Nope.
But like, I'm sorry, like, no, like we cannot, unfortunately, now that the political is now personal.
Yeah.
And now if you are voting against what me existing looks like, we can't be friends. You are not a cohort. You don't love me. Yeah. And that's something that I had to recognize. And I think me with the movement, I lost friends during the movement because it felt like I was coming out as Black, or it felt like I was expecting too much of people that were allies, or this and that and da 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 da. Mind you, I expect the bar for me very low. So like, if you couldn't meet that bar at the time, I was like, then it's clear that you're not on par, and you don't really care about me as a human being. And so this is gonna be one of those moments again where it's like, okay, cool, we lost them, but they were never there to begin with, because trust me, the people that I lost, I don't really feel as a loss because they weren't really adding anything to life, because they were just here for the ride. Right. They were just here for the fun. And like, life isn't fun all the time. Being a friend with someone isn't just being there for their good times, being there for their bad. You can't, don't celebrate with me if you haven't, if I haven't cried on your shoulder. Yeah. And that's the thing.
Right.
And so
that was so beautifully put. That really is. And because, you know, a lot of us have friends who have privilege or who don't go through the same experience that we go through. And being a friend is being there for the good, the bad, and all the in between. So we encourage you all to make the right decision when voting this election period, because it's not even just about us. It's about everyone, you know, and women, men, Black, you know what I'm saying, Hispanic, many different minorities, genders, all kinds of situations being affected. And it's scary. Like, there's no other way than to put it other than being scary, especially with the imminence of war.
The imminence of war, the amount of, our world would stop, and I don't think people understand what that's like. Like,
people don't, and you know what's crazy? And sometimes I do believe that our country or the human civilization is brainwashed, because the amount of people who feel like that won't happen here, like what's going on over in the Middle East, is wild.
Honey, somebody said that before, it would never happen.
And these billionaires, millionaires are building bunkers, they're doing things, they're making things readily available, which would be in like acts of high crime and war.
We have
in
ammunition.
Chicago, they have a freaking ATM for ammo.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And I'm like, and mind you, it's like, what?
Why? Why do they need that?
Which,
and there was just a dead body found in a lake. See now?
No, I did not. The last thing I saw was the poor woman that was just killed by the police officer.
Oh yeah, Sonia.
And that in itself, and then they pulled up his report of how many times he's had to resign from a job or been terminated from being a police officer in other counties.
Oh, see, I hope he gets the book thrown at him.
So one of the things that I was it was the greatest thing that I think I did in my time as one of the big leaders in the movement here is we have a law now that we should be able to see the transparency that goes on within our police stations within New York. So you can ask for any police officer's record to see what it looks like. We don't have that international or nationally. So like, you have to, like, the way that they found that, I have no idea. But here, and I'll never forget, Schenectady tried to not give up the records. It was the longest battle because of the police brutality. Because the thing is, it's one thing to have it's one thing to have a job and make mistakes, but it's one thing to never have those mistakes corrected or ever talk about them.
Right. Especially when you're supposed to be for the law and protecting the people. But as we all know, that's hardly the case. Which is so unfortunate. But I'm consistently praying for better days.
We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there.
Like, we're gonna get there regardless. Baby! And hopefully you are too.
No, they are too.
Exactly.
And, as long as we're doing our due diligence and we're, putting our best foot forward and we're making the right decisions and we're spreading awareness like we're doing here.
Exactly.
That's what counts. And that's why I was like, I was like, this time around, like, what can I do to spread awareness about what's actually going on?
But you do it every day. Like,
right. Well,
you do. I was like, you do it all the time. You do a great job at informing the community.
Thank you.
And it's amazing to see like your outreach, your draw.
Thank you.
Live. I got some sound bites from that last thing you did that I'm gonna put it in a mix for you. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Literally the sound bites. Yo. I was like, screen record, click.
Wait. Okay. So let's switch paces.
Yes.
Let's go back into relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at with relationships right now?
I mean, I'm currently in a relationship.
Well, no, excuse me. Let me reword that. What's your stance on relationship? Like your thoughts and like kind of like where you're at mentally in terms of being in a relationship without, spilling too much personal business.
I think like, because we're all in relationships with each other every day. Like a friendship is a relationship.
Uh-huh.
I think right now, as long as there just has to be an understanding. Yeah. I think there's this narrative of like, people don't talk to you so they don't care about you, which I don't necessarily think is true. We're all going through this struggle that is life together on a floating rock, paying fake bills. So like,
right.
Like literally on stolen land. Like it's just, we're all trying to survive together, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we all talk to each other every day. And so I love that I've been blessed with a lot of people that accept the fact that like, A, I'm not the best texter. B, like, but if you...
Which, by the way, you have been great recently.
I'm trying.
You've been doing your shit. You was on it.
I'm trying, baby. It's like an Amazon Prime 2 to 3 day delivery. I'll get back to you. But no, just like, I have a friend that we talk probably once every like 3 or 4 months. But like when he lived here, we had a schedule. I was like, every Tuesday I saw you, every this, da, da, da. And like, we don't have that, but we still like, that's one of my best friends. Like, and he will always be here for me. My friends know that if they call me, that I will show up. My friend called me. I missed the call. I was getting a little drunk. And I missed it. I sobered up. I said, oh my God, you're crying? I said, where's your location? And I was sober by then. I said, okay, girl. I just popped up. I said, I'm here. They said, you're here. I said, yeah, you were crying. I don't know what's going on, but all I know is you need a hug.
That's all. See? And that's how I am with my best friend, Kimante. Like, now see.
Oh my gosh, that's a cute one.
Yes. Yes. But see, the thing about me and him is that we're the opposite. We have to talk to each other every day. But you want to know what? I have friends that where it's like I don't, but I love my friends, and I'm one of them people. I'm a Gemini, so I understand all sides. I'm knowing your side. I'm in my side, but I'm right here. So sometimes, I be kind of in my bag when I don't talk to certain people. Mm-hmm. But the other side of me is knowing that life is lifing. They have their own situation. Shit is going on. But the other side is like, bitch, fuck that. I miss my friend.
That part. No, there's certain people that is very much that. Zaria, if you don't talk to me.
Right.
If she don't hit me back, I'm like, okay, what's wrong? What's tea?
Right,
to the point where I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Is your location on? Okay, I'm here.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Knock, ding, ding,
knock,
ding.
Knock, ding,
what's
ding,
up?
What's tea?
Because I'm like, if I don't speak to you on a regular basis, something must be wrong.
Right.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah. I love friendships like those. We need those.
Yeah, because it feeds your soul. It makes like having that check-in that isn't your parent, that isn't a parent guardian, it's just your friend genuinely checking on you is a very different level because there's no obligation to that. It always feels nice when someone's like, "Hey, are you good?"
And shout out to my best friend Natasha. She's also that way. But now me and her don't speak as much, but she's always locked in. I'm always locked in. Like we're always, you know what I'm saying, rooting for each other. She's the one who does my nails.
Yeah, girl.
Well, not these ones, but like the long press on ones. She does those, the custom ones.
Always on point.
Yes, literally. Shout out to Foxy Nails. Yes. But no, like, you know, she just moved to Georgia and she got her shit together, and I'm so happy for her. But it's like, you know, I miss her so much. But there's nothing like having those kind of friendships when, you know, people that you don't have to talk to all the time, but also having friends that you just talk to every day. And so if you have that in your life, shout out to you because you're blessed, you are loved, because not everyone has that.
Yes, and if your friend's not reaching out to you and you think something's wrong, just reach out to them.
Reach out.
I think
reach out.
There's so many times where like, because I was that person for a long time, like, oh, you don't fuck with me no more.
And you speculate, and unfortunately,
and then you think of the worst.
And that's what I was kind of hitting at when I said what I said about myself. That's me. Unfortunately, I had a rough life coming up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, unfortunately, I always kind of think the worst without having all the facts.
I think the capital reach and queer scene breeds that in us all.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy here to expect the worst.
Yeah.
And so,
unfortunately, and just like expect people to switch. And that's crazy.
It's unfortunate.
It's actually very annoying. I think because it can be draining.
But I think the younger ones got something going.
Right. About the younger ones.
The younger ones.
Now,
kids.
Now, I'm hearing that these younger ones are very clear and direct about how they feel.
Honey,
shout out to the young girlies. How
that part, baby. Oh my god.
So how do you feel about the drag scene right now in total, like in Albany, with the newcomers and the old girls trying to still maintain?
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially as like I feel like I'm one of the ones right in the middle because like I'm not as old as some of the old ones. Like I've only been out here for 7+ years.
Right.
While people are doing 10, 12. They're doing it for a nice long minute.
Be easy.
Ooh. We all saw the video of you voguing. We saw it. We saw it today.
Oh my god. Oh, London shared it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my goodness.
I was a kid.
I said, look at her.
I was like, I had to be like 19, 20 and that. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Work. See, like exactly, and like everyone's been in the scene for a minute, and I think it's nice with the new girls because before there only used to be a few of us. Now there's so many girls, which is a blessing and a curse.
So I have some favorites.
Oh,
I don't know if I should name them. That would be kind of be messy. But
we haven't had that much to drink yet.
But I do have some favorites right now. I'm trying to think if I want to name them because I don't want to be messy. I don't want it to be messy.
I'm screaming.
Well, I mean, because you know, people.
Is it messy? I mean, if we were like, these are our least favorites, I feel like that would be real messy.
Okay, well, for one, I love all my girls, and I mean that genuinely.
Because your art is valid, your drag is valid. We see you, like, because we not prefer something, but we just like have our favorites doesn't mean that anyone else's drag. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
People are like, when you think of like a favorite, because for a while, I think it's getting a little less now, but it's still real cliquey. It's still real cliquey.
It's not as like them older girl, you older children, honey.
Girl, I'll never keep it up because I'll never forget when I was like, because like for a while you always wanted to feel like you were on the in crowd. It just felt like that. Like that's what being like a baby in this scene when I was a baby was. You wanted to be one of the it girls. Da, 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 da.
And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of struggled with that, like coming back into the scene because I was one of the girls like even before like Philly and oh my goodness,
what do they look like?
Philly's mother.
Gemini.
And that's no shade. I don't know. I was trying to think of her Facebook name and I couldn't get it out.
Oh yeah, not that one. Gemini. Yes. Gemini the Barbie.
Gemini. They, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been around since them, and so to watch them grow
and develop
and they have become phenomenal, beautiful. The art, the craft, the creativity is all there.
Oh, stellar queens, makeup stamped
all the way. And then so for me to like leave and then come back, you know, I kind of felt like I had to kind of compete all over again. to kind of rename myself, because who I was when I was like in 2013, like my performances then is nothing compared to now.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, coming back out and then seeing the new girls. That's kind of what I'm trying to make.
And I think the
they're
new
so
girls,
refreshing.
They're refreshing. I'll never. One time one of them rubbed me the wrong way,
of
and
course.
I didn't talk to her for a minute. I was like, and then we worked together. I was like, I didn't like you. I was
Right.
like, I'm very much like, I did not like you.
Oh, really?
You were rude.
Right.
You were this.
Clock
you were
it.
that.
Clock
because to me, back, especially when I first started, I was the nicest. I was just nice. I wanted everyone to. I was naive, but I was nice. I wanted everyone to get along. I wanted us all to bake cupcakes and chill.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our scene just isn't like that. But I was never rude to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if we were in the same, like if I didn't like we're still gonna be like, oh, okay, whatever, we're working together, we're cordial.
What do you think? What do you think is like the biggest the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to you?
I think that I'm only about a check, because a check is probably one of the more important things to me. But it depends on the booking, the venue, and who you are. And I think a lot of girls will tell you that. I think there's girls in other cities that would tell you a bitch will cut her booking fee if she really fucks with you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a charity, I've done things for free for the right charity.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has to be something that I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not being shady. That's just like my beliefs. Like if I have a platform, I've always wanted to use it, because for me, like I have a theater degree. So like right. I've been training for a platform my whole life. I've been singing since I was 4 years old. I used to do commercials. Like I have been in the industry for a long time. Mm-hmm. So for me, everything was about business, and still currently is about business. But I think it's that people think that like I don't care for the artistry, which is interesting, because I feel like if you see the performances that really matter to me, you like, because you can always tell
the message is right there.
Exactly. And I think because of that, I've definitely sometimes gotten labeled like hard to work with.
Is that because you're outspoken, do you think?
I think I came into the scene and initially I was just happy and bubbly, and then I came into the scene and then the scene wasn't always the nicest for me. And so when I started to develop a name and my own following and my own crowd, I was like, okay, so the money still isn't changing. So I'm still making the same money that I made when I wasn't anybody. But now, like, I've been on the cover of 3 newspapers, and I've done radio interviews, and I've done this. These are all my accolades, but the money is still the same. So that didn't clock to me.
Right, of course.
And I think that got me not in trouble, but in trouble, because I was like, what do you mean you want me to work for the same coin that I was working for 2 or 3 years ago?
Right.
But I think people have slowly come around, but it's also like building your own niche, finding the places that are like, okay, we've heard about you. We see you. We see your worth. And being willing to like also just, it's being in the right place, the right time. And always, even if I'm not happy to be somewhere or things aren't exactly right, just making sure I'm maintaining that happy personality, that bubbly personality, because like.
Which you do maintain. Because even at our last job, I gotta say, you know, you really tried your best to maintain. I visually seen it.
Who wants to come to work and be miserable every day?
Facts.
Like, even if we hate being there, like, bitch, we there together.
Facts.
Like, and it was especially us. We're like, I'm like, hey, you want a kiki? What you want?
And you want to know something? And I want to thank you, and I appreciate. No, I'm so serious, because prior to working there, I hadn't been in the work field in any workplace in a very long time. I've just been getting my money how I've been getting my money. So I had the grace of coming back around people that I'm familiar with, but then I love to learn. I'm always learning. I'm always observing people, and like, you know, if I'm working, I'm always observing so that I can learn. So I always wanted to be in a management position just because I felt like, so I would watch you and like, you know, how you are with, you know, how you were trying to be and how you were. And I understand now, especially at my new position, because now I have to be that. I have to be that for my employees. So some days it's hard.
Yeah.
Some days it's hard. But to have that bubbly enthusiasm through, and like that
Thank
really
you.
no shade.
'Cause
Like
that was just not a fun. Nothing about
I
honestly, nothing
learned a
about that job was
lot.
fun.
I
Like,
learned a lot, especially going to my next job. Like I reference you all the time. I reference Rouge Noir all the time. Because I learned a lot being there. You know what I'm saying? And I know how stressful it is. But to still have the want and desire to be enthusiastic for your team is something that not many people can acquires. That's like rare.
I think
To me, you know what I'm saying? I got blessed again with another boss who's like that.
Yes.
But I have been in other places where it was not like that.
Yes.
And it was just very black and white. And it was just very, either you get your job done or we're just going to replace you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not personality. It's not, the warm embrace. Taylor gives me full on hugs. We always be in tears together on break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how we were. And that really does so much for people.
Because you're not, especially like, I feel like we are not coming to work to make millions of dollars. Like we're not making enough money to barely live our lives. Most of us, we're literally scraping by. So if you cannot make that fun for those people coming in for you, and that's something that I learned through back to food service, my Texas Roadhouse. That was the one job. They paid us to play dodgeball. They paid us to go do fun events. What
you mean play dodgeball?
Mm-hmm. We had staff development. Like I think
really?
we had it at least once every 3 months, I think.
Child, they had field days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then when you were a trainer, they used to take us to a bougie part of Connecticut. We had a field day with 14 other stores. These are all the things. So like, when I look at companies, especially like with the last job that I almost took, like if it doesn't feel right, don't take it. Because like the core values that I got from one of my first, especially management positions, but first real big jobs as a full adult, that I carried with me everywhere. Because I'm like, if you don't have the people buying into you, because I guarantee like when the other manager called people to come in, they weren't coming. Mm-hmm. Because no one wants to be here with you, but also there's no buy-in because you see them as something that's replaceable. And granted, like in the big scheme of capitalism, yes, we're all replaceable, but no one wants to feel that way.
Yeah.
And so it's like, because we all in the back of our mind know, like, if you quit tomorrow, girl, you're gonna find someone else to take my job.
Right.
But it's not gonna be me, and it's not gonna be you. And I enjoy you coming into work, and that's what I wanted everyone to feel like. I enjoy you coming into work. Please come on in, X, Y, and Z. Like, we're going to have as much fun as we can. Make sure you fold some t-shirts.
Guess what?
What?
Tell me why one of our previous employees, Ray, she came into my store after prom. And she showed me the pictures.
I have to text her. I haven't seen the pictures yet. She looks stunning.
She was adorable. She still had her prom hair in. But I almost damn near cried
because that's our baby.
I was like, I thought I was not going to see her again. I didn't think that they would care. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that she came and she knew where I was going to be at, I was like, that just meant a lot to me. That meant a whole lot to me
because you were a great manager. They were a bond.
Them kids there. And I'm getting emotional, but them kids there was really great. And the fact that she came back to me and like showed me her prom, like that was so sweet. It was like the sweetest thing. It was the sweetest thing.
We're gonna tissue, you're gonna take a pop.
But no, it was the sweetest thing. And
but to think
shit like that really makes, because it's just like, you don't know who you're impacting. You may think that you're just running a store, you may think that you're just not making a difference, but you really do mean somebody to somebody.
You never know what somebody. The thing is, like, just like when you're making friends at school or anywhere else, like you never know what someone goes home to.
Right.
So even though they come into work X, Y, and Z, like when I was a kid, like no one knew that like we were broke growing up. Like nobody knew that. But like, and so like you wouldn't look at me and know that, but it was just what the realization was of like we were not the most well off, and that's okay. But you don't know what people are going home to. So like for me, there was something in grade school that always stuck with me. It was like, you never know, you could be the difference in someone's day. Yeah. And so like I try to be that difference in somebody's day every day. Yeah. And like that's just what it is. That's so great. Like I love hearing stuff like that because
it's so easy to fall into negativity. It's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to be over it. It's so easy to not care these days. Yeah. Maybe it's always been that way, but I've been here for this day. So it's like these days are just so fucking easy. So to just like be like that on a regular.
Yes.
Period, bitch.
Yes. I'm that bitch that goes to New York City and is like, yes, girl, you wearing that heel. Like, okay. Because like, she could have the worst day in the world, but someone told her she looked good today, and that's what matters. Like, it's the little things. I think every single day it's just the little things that gets everyone to tomorrow. Because, bitch, it's a hard world every goddamn day. Yeah. Rent is too damn high, and we're still not making enough. So let's try to make each other laugh and have some fucking fun.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And that's the same with like drag. That's why I do it. Like,
speaking of drag, I'm going back to my favorites. So
she said she finished that last cup. She poured another. Said, now time to be messy.
Right.
Girl, sweat. Girl, I'm gonna be sweaty. It's fine. We're having a good time.
But you want to know what? The young girls, the younger girls have really been a breath of fresh air. And let me say this. Let me look straight into the camera.
Y'all don't play.
Y'all have been such a breath of fresh air. Let me shout out my babies. And off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Phoenix. I'm thinking of Gabe. I'm thinking of
I'm like, you said their boy name. I said or out of drag name. I said
I know it's the out of drag name, guys. And let me say something also before anybody thinks that when I'm doing stuff like this, you'll notice that I forget names and I forget things. Like I remember we was at Waterworks on a Wednesday, and Opal wanted me to present her.
It happens all the time. I'll be like,
and I fucking forgot her damn name, and it's Opal.
Girl, the thing is, like, names don't stick with me sometimes. There'll be times where I'm like,
but that doesn't take away from how much I love you guys, and I know your name, but just sometimes I can't draw when anxiety's up. But however, Phoenix, my baby Gabe, Jay Walker on Facebook.
Yeah, that's we live for Jay every day, all day.
I love so fucking sweet, and I'm saying to people because they have left imprints. I absolutely love Lexi Pro. I absolutely love Queenie. Royale.
Giving ballroom. Bringing ballroom.
She's giving realness.
And honestly, not to shade nobody, but the sweetest girl you will ever meet. And I love her for that.
Yeah.
Like
Emily Precise.
Yeah.
She's been around for a while, but she's also another very young, sweet girl. I don't see her in much messiness. You know what I'm saying? I don't see her in much messiness. I just see her just out, just trying to be the best that she can. And that's what I love. Leave the messiness to your auntie.
Piper Fixation.
Piper Fixation.
There we go, bitch. I was trying to, she made me forget your name too, girl, because she's one of my favorite. When I tell you, when she first popped on the scene, I will never forget. First popped on the scene.
She's so bubbly. No, wait.
She's just,
I love her little.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, bitch. I love when you do that because you're so fucking cute.
Yes, honey.
It's just so cute, and the personalities, the creativity, and the reason why I'm digging Phoenix right now is because I love her aesthetic. Mm-hmm. I love that everybody has their own aesthetic, but I'm digging hers for like a lot for some reason. And then also, I cannot forget, she's very controversial. Some call her messy. Some call her.
I'm gonna take a drink on this one. I'm nervous.
Some call her entertaining, but however, she's still a part of the community, and I love her down nonetheless. Tommy Lee. I love her.
I'm gonna need her to stay out of controversy.
I want her to stay out of controversy too. Shout out to her. She is transitioning to become a trans woman.
Yes.
And I want you to know, Tommy Lee, that even though the community,
it might feel that the community is against you.
It may feel that way, and honestly, it may be that for reasons, but that's not the end all be all. You are still appreciated in the community for what you do. At the end of the day, it takes a lot to go out for these fucking shows. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot to get ready. It takes a lot to do them back to back to back to back to back. And she was doing them when I think she's like on a break right now, but she was doing it.
Yeah, she went to DragCon. She's in DragCon right now, or coming back at least.
Okay, so and my son went to DragCon as well, Bottega. But long story short, I see like a lot of the controversy, and I get it. I just want the best. I just want all the girls to somewhat get along and be able to get their bread. Not everybody's going to agree.
Could you imagine just everyone coming to the table and just airing anything out? I would love.
That would be a sickening show.
That would be amazing. If everyone's open to girl, if everyone was open to just being like, I've heard that you did this, or you did this, and this to me, and I never got, and I'm sorry. Yes. Like that's all. I think at the end of the day, accountability, but also I think there's a layer of being a drag queen that's like, you did this in front of people, so now I want to do this in front of people. I don't know if that's healthy or toxic. But it's
the entertainers in us.
That's just because it's like you had an audience when you were saying whatever, or when you stabbed me in the back and did X, Y, and Z. There was this Paul, Dick, and Harry that still heard the story, but I didn't get to say nothing.
At the end of the day, it's still all entertainment. It's still a part of the entertainment business. Hence the reason why when on RuPaul's Drag Race, when they're all in the dressing room, they're all reading each other. Because that's just a part of the motherfucking business.
But there's like a playful air. Because like I feel like when I go places and I'm not messing, because even traveling, like, you know, the girls still kind of like, once you find a girl that you drive with, you're like, okay, cool, we can keep. And that's always great.
Yeah.
But like when you can't find that girl, you're like, bitch, damn.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I feel like not everywhere is as welcoming. But there's like a playful air about it. But the thing is, I feel like here we lost the playfulness because everything felt so real and so concrete. And so like people have lost gigs, people have lost money, people like
I'm rooting for Albany.
Girl, someone's gonna put us on the map.
I'm rooting for Albany. But one thing I will say is that we do need to need to learn how to come together better. Certain things have transpired that can't be retracted.
That can't be undone. But at the same time, we gotta find love for one another. But
at the same time, we gotta figure out a way to coexist and make this fun again.
That part.
Let's make it fun.
Bitch is tired, honey. Actually, rumor has I got a new show coming out and it's gonna be fun.
Oh! Speaking of the shade, what happened to Margarita City?
I honestly, we're in a limbo period. I really don't have the full answer because I feel like in the beginning it was like, this is great.
Is Margarita City not the spot anymore? Or like
I want it to be the spot, but it just doesn't feel like I'm necessarily wanted anymore. It feels like things have changed. Management has changed. There's a lot of big change going on.
Oh wait, so are they not interested in drag shows anymore?
I don't know. I just know that I'm not on their marketing. They haven't been pushing it like they used to. And I'm not even asking, like, when I first started, they were obsessed. It was wild. It was crazy. There was a life-size poster of me in there.
I remember when you first started because I remember when you first started because it was so consistent. Because I was like, oh my God, like I would love to be on board with that. And so I was like rooting. I was always rooting. Like I was always so happy that there was something else,
a different option besides going to the club.
You know, other than the routine Wednesdays and the routine Saturday and Saturday.
It was just like, for me, it was a place to like make a neutral ground where like everyone could come and work and get paid. The thing is, like, as much as we love Wednesdays, I hate asking girls to come out for a show and not get paid.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it. And that's no shade to like the bars or anything. It's a great thank you so much for hosting us.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I wanted a spot where I could like figure out artists, make it neutral and get paid. And it was that for a very long time. And it still is that. I think they're trying to figure out what their transition looks like because they've redone the whole back. They're redoing the front. They have new management. It's still the same owner. Love the owner. Love you, Roy. You're amazing. You love us. We love you. But he's just got so many businesses that I feel like we've kind of fallen through the cracks a little bit. And the new management, I don't think necessarily jives with drag. And that's what we're feeling.
And that,
and so that kind of leads me to
that
just
regard,
like,
that makes a lot of sense because
I went from a show for over almost 2 years doing every single Friday.
Yeah.
Which was great. When we paired back, we came down, we sat, I said, this is a little too much for me.
Wow.
Every single Friday. Because if I was just doing that, like just doing drag, fine. Because then it's like, whatever. But like, I have to get off work. And I was working like a full-time job back then. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, can we pair this back? So we paired it back. But now I think it doesn't feel like a priority, even though my inbox is full of people being like, I'm having a bridal shower and I want to start the night out at Margarita. When are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not. I was like, but I am bookable to come with you. So I do get a lot of private bookings where like people just come with and I go with them on their little bridal shower.
Right. Aww.
But it's still not the same. It's not, it was something that like I was very proud to cultivate. And it's still like one of my proudest things to like.
And you should be proud.
Yeah.
And the guy gets another opportunity is already on the way, I'm sure.
Oh, fully.
And because one thing about you is that you're a wonderful host and you're a great entertainer. Like,
thank you.
I aspire to be as good.
Shut
No,
up.
I aspire to be as good on the mic as you are. Like, I'm getting better.
Girl, I just make it up, and then if you give me a few shots, it really gets
right. I'm trying to get to that point of being as free as you on the mic, and it's a really good skill.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Honestly, shout out to Zaria
She's
over at
great
Davenport.
too. Yes,
she taught like my mic skills. Yeah. My mic skills is definitely, for me, it was like finding someone to bounce off of. Like what I learned in theater school, if you find something, if there's something in someone else you envy, work with them. And don't work with them until you and don't stop working with them until you find someone else to work with. And that sounds worse than what it is. But what I'm saying is it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, cool, learn, see what happens. Like, what do they do during downtimes? Things like that. And like work with them or study them. And that part too, like for me, like I love going to other shows in other cities because I'm just looking at the girls and then not in a shady way of like, okay, cool, you're stellar, you do this, you're the best in your game at X, Y, and Z. Or like, I've been blessed, shout out to Let's Get Back to Quality. I've been blessed to work with all these. Shout out to you,
Anthony.
Yes, Anthony.
We love you, Anthony.
I have been blessed to work with all of these different Rue girls. And so it's like looking at them going, okay, study. What do they do? Or honestly, with one of them, there's one that I like really, really don't care for. What did I do that? Yeah. No, oh, girl. Should I be messy?
Yes. Spill the tea.
Listen, TKB.
Oh.
Chop. That's it.
I'm gonna pour my drink.
Anyway, when I tell you, I just know. Like, and it's one of those, it's really sad because I idolized her. And maybe that's why it was such a big letdown.
Yes, that often happens when we meet people that we don't really know, but like we're
like, oh my God, like and I was like, oh, because when she got sent home, I was like, oh my goodness, like that's so like unfortunate, but I understand why, because she wasn't ready yet. Like she wasn't. Like if she looked at her own run and said I was ready, like you're lying to yourself. But she's still like her drag. I lived for her personality, and but what I was really living for was the edit of the TV show, and that's what I was living for. And it's just like to be so excited and to tell someone like, oh my God, I've been so excited, looked up to you, and to get nothing back, or not even it was just dry. And it's like, not that you owe that to anybody, but also we're coworkers in this moment. Girl, we are working the same gig.
That's nasty.
Matter of fact, I'm hosting you.
Right.
But
guess what I'm meeting?
Who?
Do you remember Janelle Chanel?
Yes.
We've seen her at the Finger Lakes.
Yes.
So, now I want to get into pageantry.
Girl, she was the one. She was the one with the white dress, right?
She had on the purple. She presented.
Yes.
She had the purple feathers, and she did.
Yes.
She did. What number did she did? Cardi B.
Yes, girl. It was fun out there.
Let me tell you something. I felt like, because I got a chance to speak to her when we were all leaving, I felt like in that moment, standing in front of her, I felt like Cinderella on the floor in her cleaning gear singing, "Sing, sweet nightingale."
I'm screaming, Cinderella.
Bitch! She is so
stunning,
beautiful, sweet, gorgeous, very nice. And long story short,
she was a sweetheart.
Yes.
Sweet.
So long story short, I'm performing in Buffalo at the Black and Gay Latino.
I saw that.
I'm excited, and she's headlining and hosting. I get to meet her again, this time dolled up and glammed up in my shit. And I'm just like, I'm so excited because I want to meet people like that, like her and Giselle Barbie.
Stunning.
Icon.
Icon.
I just want to be around that. and it's like just to,
And-
like you say, study,
And
see, absorb.
I love that. And I love like just getting to travel and getting to see people that are doing what you want to do or doing the same thing that you love
Yeah.
over and over again is such a blessing.
It's
Like
such a blessing.
and then when you
It's
vibe
so
with
fun.
them and you get to just kiki,
Yes.
girl, those are the moments. Because those are the moments where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That means when I have a question, like I'm gonna just be like, hey, let me just
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so So, I'm pretty excited about this weekend. I'm going to be competing in a ball that Saturday, performing on that Sunday, and it's going to be really fun. But I'm just that's what I'm excited about.
That.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Girl.
make sure that y'all tune in because I'm actually I'm going to make sure that I get the footage from me competing in the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm praying that my shit get here on time in the goddamn mail. Oh my God. My dress is here, but the accessories are not.
Have not made it yet.
And I have anxiety because I'm leaving Saturday at 10 a.m. So I'm just like...
When is there an estimate? This is just like soon. It's like...
It says it'll be here on Friday, but it's an issue. 2 things have shipped already. The rest has not.
Okay.
So, and it's Wednesday night.
Heard.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
What type of accessories are they?
They are the gold pointed things.
Ooh, for your fingers. Like you put your fingers in
I have a oversized, huge hat. Flops down, huge. It's like editorial. It's giving you avant-garde. It's giving you high fashion. And it was supposed to go with my face category look, which was a gold-plated dress that went into the black fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to be presented at the end of the runway with the big flop hat, giving glamour poses and things like that, and then walking slowly, giving them the zhuzh down the runway, and then coming out to reveal myself because it's a face category. They're like, you rule the IG, hit the runway, show them why you rule IG, and then reveal yourself at the end of the runway. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just praying that the shit comes in time.
I hope it gets here.
I do
That's
too.
a beautiful vision.
I do too. Now, last topic. Now, I remember because we didn't really tap into. Did we tap into relationships? We did like a little bit.
Yeah, well, we started.
You had mentioned something at the beginning of the conversation. I was like, "Oh, that's great."
The two of us with our memory were like, "Yeah, that's great." Girl, we can't remember names. We're trying to remember conversations. Girl, I don't know what color my shirt is.
Look, and my ass talking about something. Oh, that's great.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Okay, Tony the Tiger, you better work.
No, but you want to know what? I am happy to see that you and your lover have stuck it out.
Yeah.
Because I do know that it's been many ups and downs.
Girl, ups and downs. I feel like I'm on a teeter-totter, honey.
Yeah.
But love is hard.
But in this climate of really like microwavable relationships.
Ooh, what do you mean? Like quick, hot and ready?
Just met him, now we're married. Oh. That's not how I meant to put it. But because that happened to me. But I love my man.
I quit.
I love my man.
I know, but
I didn't mean it like that.
Okay.
But in this age,
get on your good foot. Anyway,
please don't piss me off. Please. Wait.
We told you it was gonna be fun.
Of microwavable relationships, how do you maintain longevity?
Well, honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. So
What's been working for you these days?
Communication.
Heavy on that.
It's something that I'm like working on because like I'm very much. You made me feel some type of way, but I will sit with it, and that's in all relationships. It's not even just like romantic relationships. Like someone could make me angry.
How long do you sit with it? It depends.
It depends because I feel like sometimes like I guess I felt like I've dealt with a lot of gaslighting in my life. Like a lot of like people just make me feel like am I crazy? Am I the problem? And so like I just sit with it to make sure that like, are you feeling this way? Is that really that big of a deal? Things like that. Or like just granting someone grace. Like honestly, just let it go. It's not that big. It's not that deep. Um, and that gets to be exhausting for certain people.
Yeah.
I will never forget in one of my best friend, he bless his soul, he loves me. He is, I realize within relationships, like someone chooses somebody else. Like you realize like there's always like
Yeah.
the person that chooses the other one that's gonna be my friend. And I have a few friends that like chose me, like actively was like, and that's always a good feeling. But I feel like being a gay man, like having straight relationships was always like rough with like straight men.
Yeah.
So so my best friend, like to like everyone knows he's number one. It's not it's like a straight white homie from back home. Like
Okay.
and it was
And where are
like
you from again? For
from
those who don't know.
Catskill.
Catskill. Okay.
Yes. And he's from Hudson. He was from the rival town.
Okay.
And he chose me. And it was the weirdest thing because I hadn't had any straight male friends at the time. And it was like the end of senior year. So it was like, we're both like partying, da da da. And he chose me to be his best friend. I don't know what happened, why, how, but there was all these things of like, I was like, it's not a big deal because I was very used to like, you're going to disappear anyway. Like straights don't stick around. Like you're not.
Yeah.
And through the trials and tribulations, like he was like, nah. He was like, where you going? Bring your ass back. Like, what you doing? Like, where are you going? Like,
He was a real one.
Yes, he like 10 out of 10 do recommend if someone is consistently choosing you, like recognize that, like and live in that because I think I didn't experience not being the friend that like I was always choosing my friends instead of them choosing me in a sense.
Me too.
And
oh my
yeah.
God.
And so when someone chooses you and actively, especially because like I'll never forget, his parents thought that I was making him gay. Like there were all these things. There were all these caveats. Okay. Like I'll never forget there was one time like we went on multiple vacations together and then his family I was supposed to go on vacation with his family, but then there wasn't enough space. And he was like, well then I'm not going either. Like you took off. We're gonna go do something together. Da, da, da. I was like, go on your family vacation. Like what do you mean? Like there were all these things where like he was like, no, you're my best friend. He's like, if anybody, we would go to these house parties, these frat parties. He's the reason I live in Albany. He moved to Albany first. I was living in Kingston. And he moved to Albany and then we moved in together. And it was literally like, when I tell you, like, he was like, listen, someone mess with you, like, these are all my, like, cause like, I became friends with all his friends.
Right.
And so like, I had a whole straight brigade. Like, it was wild. It was wild.
Come on, brigade.
Brigade. It was crazy. We were out here in the soccer house. We were out here running in the streets, honey, of Albany. It was crazy. But I think it's like making sure like that recognizing someone's choosing you and enjoying that because it's a very rare feeling.
Yeah.
And bringing that into all relationships. So it's like within a romantic relationship, like I don't even think it's so funny that my best friend taught me like to make sure that I feel like I'm being chosen every day. Because you want to wake up and choose that person and that person choose you. Because for a while I used to be like, I'm never getting married because I want that person to not feel like they have an obligation to me. Because I felt like marriage was an obligation. And I thought that my version of that was like, they wake up and they choose to be here because they don't have to, because I want to feel like I'm chosen. And I think for the longest time, before I was like really close friends with my best friend, I was very much like, nope, never getting married, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like, it's because someone doesn't, like, I was like, you can still choose that person and like even with through a commitment and things like that. And so it's just like, I think within romantic relationships, take all those lessons from all those interpersonal relationships,
Right.
and take it and apply it to your romantic relationship because you've done the practice. Making a best friend is no different from dating. Like, and I think that's what we forget, to be friends with your romantic interest, because people will be romantically entangled but not have a friendship. And I think that's so
real.
interesting.
That's so real. That is so fucking real. Like, no, like, but how does that even go on?
I think it goes on because in the queer community, especially, like, where do you meet people? You meet people off Grindr. How many relationships of the queer person will be like, he was the Grindr hookup that never left? It happens all the time. Like,
I've never had that.
Well, cause you got a good one, Savannah.
Thank God I didn't meet my man on Grindr. Oh my goodness. Well, actually, Twitter is just as bad.
Twitter's everything.
Because I was an OnlyFans girl for a while. I was popping my
Yes.
pussy and slinging things.
When you scroll through Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, that's Lala. I don't think I ever told you that. I believe it was like,
you see? Oh my god.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, you had to work. Scroll.
Yo, but in my wildness, I met my fiance.
Yes.
And so it's interesting how things work out, with like Grindr and things like that. But it's just crazy because, like I say, microwavable things like Grindr and Tinder and shit like that. It's so easy to just scroll. No, next, no, next. And then to have so many options, it just makes a dating pool and the quality of dating so much more like.
And like, because it feels huge, but in actuality, you're not getting any substance. Like, you're not.
There's no substance in anything.
To walk up to somebody at a bar is very different. I'll never forget. I had a long distance relationship when I was in college for a minute with a man that lived in California.
Okay, how's that?
Honestly, homie is fine. Girl, when I met him, he had muscle. Now he got even more muscle. But we were at a bar in New Paltz. I was out in New Paltz. And I look up, mind you, we're at a straight bar. So this was, I don't know what I was on because I was on some gutsy shit. And I see this, I was like, damn, he fine as fuck. So I walk over and I'm ordering my friend some drinks. And like, he's like right next to me and he's talking. I just look at him and I was like, hey, do you want a shot? And he's like, sure. And like, from that moment, we were inseparable for the rest of the night. And it was so cute and whatever. And then I fully had a long distance, like little moment with him for a minute.
I don't blame you because I know moments like that, and I was such a party girl, so I love
it's nice to meet someone outside.
Yes!
Like, when you don't expect it, girl. I was in a straight bar. I'm sitting here like, what? I was like, oh,
right.
I was like, oh, girl, he's cute,
right?
Oh my god, yeah. Like, it was so just unexpected.
So now I have to live vicariously through other people because I obviously can't parade around like that anymore. But
question.
Yes.
How do you feel about open relationships in life?
It's funny that you say that because I actually spoke about that earlier today. So, because open relationships, I feel like, you want to know what? I feel like open relationships is cool for those in long distance relationships and like things like that. I understand open relationships to be okay with people who are very sexual, and who can't help themselves and who don't want to
be limited,
at all. But they still know when they have a person that will bring stability in their life to keep them. You know what I'm saying? And so I understand it. I get it. Would I be able to do it? Not so much, like physically being with my lover and then agreeing to like being in an open relationship. It just seems a little bit like, it seems a lot like, actually, it's like a Russian roulette. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Especially if the person that who's you're in a relationship with, how responsible they are.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it definitely is like rules, boundaries.
You know what I mean? But overall, I see that it is a thing, and if it can be done in a healthy way, where no one's getting jealous, where it's not hurting the family if there is one.
Yeah, like
go for it. You know what I mean? Just be great, be safe, protect yourself, know who you're with, as to the best of your capabilities. And I don't really knock it. The only thing I don't really get is like, okay, now I have a question. Open relationship. Is this one person with another and either spouse can have relations with other people, or is it like actual relation, like boyfriend, girlfriend with other people?
I think,
or is it just sexual?
So like, I feel like open is just like them having like relations, like just sexual. With other people. And then like polyamorous.
I don't get now that's now that
I don't know. So the older I get,
how do you feel about that?
The older I get,
Now, how do you feel about open and polygamy?
I definitely used to be like very much, this is my man, like this is my only thing, da 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 da. I think like if a girlie was getting on Drag Race, a girlie would want to experience every city the way that she could. And that's just like something that sometimes crosses my mind where I'm like, girl, when you get on the show, oh, it's gonna be different. But like
the options wide.
a lot of the girlies on Drag Race, like all of a sudden they have open relationships or 8 boyfriends. So it's quite different.
I mean, but
I don't think.
But to be fair, it's kind of choice.
Yeah.
Because of their position now.
Yeah, because I don't think like when you're traveling the world.
You want that for
time, you? No, like I want to be on Drag Race.
Right.
I think by the if I'm not married by the time I get on Drag Race, that's this whole different like entity, like a whole different moment. But it depends on like the rules and the boundaries that we've set in my relationship. Because like I feel like I'll give someone a hall pass. Like I will give him like because my current boyfriend's younger than me, and so like I'm just like. He was going somewhere and I said, do you wanna? I was like, if you wanna, and he's like, I would never tell you that you could, so I'm not gonna do that. I was like, okay, work, and that's not what you want to do. That's fine. I was like, I'm not gonna ask for one. I was just like, like you're going somewhere to this new state with this really fun place that like X, Y, and Z. Like if you really wanted to, be smart, don't be stupid. Go have a ball.
That's so dope of you.
Like,
oh my god, that's really dope of you.
Because like I feel like. I mean, I was never a very promiscuous person until I think my like second year living in Albany, where people were like, "You've never hooked up off Grindr? That's weird." And like the gays were like, and I was like, "Oh, is that where?" I was like, "I'm too scared." Like I was real scared. And
you was getting this pretty pussy.
Literally, like when I tell you, like I was just like, "Oh my god, no, I'm just here." I'm just here. I'm just literally like I'm just here to like look. Like,
right. Yeah. I'm not really trying to
giving Barry that.
Right.
But then everyone was like, you don't. And then I realized that Albany literally has places to hook up, like in the library, under the thing, under the.
So Albany is fucking huge.
Yeah, Albany has so many places. They have bathrooms that just lock that you could just be like, right in the mess hall, right in the little cafeteria, the little campus center. It's out of pocket.
Oh my god, I would have been a hoe.
Girl, when I transferred to Albany, and the thing is now I'm a drag queen, so some of them are like, oh my god, and I'm like, we have seen each other in some compromising positions, sir. Like it's so wild. And that's what's also interesting is like now like being a drag queen and doing that, because I had lived up here for a while before I became a drag queen. So I was like, oh my gosh, like da 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 da. And now everyone's like, oh my god, remember? I'm like, shh. Like, you don't remember? You don't remember that.
Be spilling this
You've never seen me like that. Like, oh my god. Like, it was very, like, so different. I feel like, do you think being a performer, actually, that's right. I feel like being a performer, like, elevates promiscuity. Like, I feel like.
It can. It definitely can. Especially with how you're selling it. But no, not even how you're selling it. But yes, it definitely can, because it puts you somewhere on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. And you'll have individuals who live for anyone on a pedestal.
And it's so interesting, because I'm like, girl, if I was to take you home, I got 8 layers of tights. I got some hips that are gonna fall off. I have got you. This is not. I gotta take it off.
Wait. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So question.
Yes.
And we're gonna be wrapping up very soon.
Oh yeah.
We're wrapping up very soon.
It's a special show for y'all.
Right.
A long one.
But now in drag,
yes.
Do you have a lot of men approach you, for more glamazon, but want you to stay in drag?
I think
if
so.
You was
like,
to look up?
I haven't really, like, honestly, I'd never really explored it, because, like, I think I was very upfront where, like, this is coming. She doesn't do that. Morgan Amazon does not. This comes off, honey. If you want the experience through our sensation, if you want to feel it, like, like, it's coming off.
Oh my god.
I can't, like, I feel like people have, like, my DMs full of people.
Yeah.
But I'm very upfront of like, girl, you want what? You want me to do what with? Only with my current partner have I ever even kissed someone in drag. Like, I am very much.
You don't play them games.
No, like, I'm not trying. Girl, you know how expensive all the you want to do what? Bitch, you got $500? We can talk about it.
Okay.
Because you're gonna replace the shit you're trying to rip off?
Okay.
No. You're not fucking up my lace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not cleaning anything out of anything. Like, no. And like I feel that. I just was like, for me, it's always been like she's money. Like she has value.
She's all about money. She's not a slut. She's not a whore. She's not your. She's not.
Drag is too expensive for me to have any man pulling on. No, you want to rip something?
No shade. Yeah, no, yeah, that is very true.
Because if my lace rips, all of a sudden we here. What's up? Like my lace is done. It's over. Like
but you want to know because I know a lot of individuals who like to be in the moment,
and they love it. Oh no, we all know some sisters that love it, and I love that for them. And they now have wigs for it. They got clothes for it. And I'm like, I love that for you, girl.
I'd be gagging. I'd be like, okay.
Could you imagine if I bought a specific wig for this? I'm like, if I
to get slayed,
which I'm like out here, just you better bond it to your head. Then if you might as well do
no, but I feel that. But that's always been like my curiosity, like with certain girls, because I know. Certain girls I know get approached, and I know certain girls don't because the
approach happens. So the follow through
drag is a little bit more animated and like
cartoony,
and then certain drag is more realistic and like actually giving.
I will never forget. I had a Victoria's Secret bodysuit when I was a baby queen. That one day I looked good. Our snatch tuck was tight. Okay, I posted a photo and it was. My DMs were full. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. One time there was this man with like a baseball bat. Just like when I say a literal baseball bat, just like I was like, girl, you are interested in some things. Out here looking for a home run, honey.
Come on, man.
Like, I feel like it just comes with the territory. Like if you were like sometimes like the little baby queens that are actually babies are like 18, they're like, yeah, I can still come to the bar. And I'm like, girl, don't post a photo. Don't do it. You're going to have these menses out here thinking that you are something that is not exactly what's going on. It's not tea, and the world is scary. Girl, don't do it.
Don't do it.
That's why, like, all my daughters were of age. I only got one left, but all my daughters were of age. They were like, bitch, and they were outside living their best lives.
As they should.
I was like, as full adults, because I'm like,
always live it. Always live it. And so. I want to say thank you once again.
Of course. Anytime. All you got to do is call. I'm going to wear a sweatproof shirt next time, girl. So we got the pattern. So this is it was planned. It's my luck.
No, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. We didn't have to take no stops, no breaks. I was kind of mad, however, that we didn't have the Bacardi.
I know, we left the Bacardi over there, but we made it through.
Right. I was kind of pissed about that. But however, this was a very beautiful interview. Also know that Morgan will be making another appearance on August 14th. I'm going to be at Rocks. I will be taking Dreyas Closet to Rocks for a live show. So if you want to experience my talk show in person, please come to Rocks on August 14th. It will be Morgan, myself, and a bunch of other fabulous girls who are well known in the community, in the entertainment business. Thank you again so much, Morgan.
Thank you for having me.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Like, this is absolutely amazing. We touched amazing topics. You were so transparent and so real about your responses, and that's exactly. Like,
that's what I wanted.
That's what we want.
The teleprompter worked. I could read.
Okay. So this has been another episode of Dreyas Closet. This is episode 2 of season 4. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dreyas Closet, and my Instagram, Closet of Drea. Where can they find you?
Oh my gosh, you can find me at More Glamazon. It's MOR_Glamazon on Instagram, or you can find me at More Glamazon G Davenport on Facebook.
Period, bitch. And with that being said, this is another show of Dreyas Closet, and we are out.
Yes! Yeah!
Love is the highest vibration.